The first light of dawn crept over the horizon, casting a soft glow on the waters of the river Thames. Thomas, an elderly fisherman with a weathered face and eyes that sparkled like the river itself, made his way down the stone steps leading to his beloved fishing spot beneath Tower Bridge. Each morning, before the world awoke, he slipped into this tranquil haven, where time felt suspended, and the hustle of London above faded to a distant murmur. With practiced ease, he set down his well-worn fishing rod, the familiar weight of it in his hands bringing comfort. The gentle lapping of the water served as a soothing backdrop, mingling with the occasional cry of a seagull gliding overhead. As Thomas prepared his line, he paused for a moment, absorbing the serenity around him. Here, beneath the towering structure, he felt a profound connection to the river, a bond forged through years of rituals and unspoken histories waiting to be discovered. The gentle sounds of the river Thames cradled Thomas in a comforting embrace, but above him, the city hummed with frenetic energy. The distant blare of taxi horns pierced the morning stillness, blending with the animated chatter of tourists who flitted across Tower Bridge, their laughter echoing off the centuries-old stones. Men and women rushed past, each absorbed in their own stories, oblivious to the tranquility beneath them. Seagulls screamed overhead, swooping gracefully to hunt for morsels in the bustling waters below. Each flap of their wings served as a reminder of the wild freedom above the city's chaos. In contrast, the river whispered soft secrets, its gentle lapping against the banks lulling Thomas into a reflective state. He felt at once a part of the bustling life above and a guardian of the silent tales that swirled beneath the surface, where the currents held the memories of ages past, connecting him to a world unseen. As Thomas settled into the rhythm of casting his line, the familiar sounds of the Thames enveloped him, soft lapping waves, the rustle of leaves, and the whisper of the wind. He closed his eyes for a moment, allowing the serenity to wash over him. The river spoke to him, a gentle murmur bearing tales of old, stories whispered through the ages. He thought of the countless faces that had stood where he now stood, each one leaving a fragment of their essence in the water. With each cast, he reflected on the river's deep memory, the shipwrecks that had once claimed brave sailors, and the secrets those sunken vessels held. He recalled how on stormy nights, the river's waves seemed alive with echoes of lost voices. Thomas could almost hear their pleas, their laughter, and their longing for home. In these musings, he felt not just a fisherman, but a guardian of the river's timeless stories. As Thomas settled into his favorite spot by the river, he cast his line into the mirrored waters of the Thames, feeling the familiar rhythm of his routine. The stories woven into the river's currents began to surface in his mind. He recalled tales of lost sailors who had surrendered to the tempest, their fates swallowed by the depths. Each gentle ripple seemed to whisper secrets of shipwrecks long forgotten, their wooden remains resting beneath the surface, mingling with the silt and history of the river. Yet it was the legend of Eleanor that haunted him most. She was a girl full of life, destined to roam the banks before vanishing one fateful night, lost to the fog that rolled in like a shroud. Locals spoke of her spirit, sometimes glimpsed by the moonlight, guiding wayward souls back to safety. For Thomas, these stories were not mere folklore. They were lifelines, connecting him to the past and the unseen realms that lingered just beyond the reach of understanding. The atmosphere shifted, the gentle lapping of the water now mingling with faint, ghostly whispers that danced through the air. Thomas felt a subtle chill enveloping him, as if the river itself was awakening, eager to share its secrets. He glanced up at the Tower Bridge, its towering form casting a long shadow over the water, and wondered about the souls who had passed beneath it through the ages. "Every current carries a story," he murmured to himself, his voice barely audible above the soft eddies. In that moment, he could almost hear the echoes of the forgotten, lost fishermen, brave sailors, and a heartbroken girl named Eleanor. He closed his eyes, allowing memories of the Thames to wash over him, realizing how deeply these threads connected him to the past. It was in these murmurs he sensed the delicate balance between the living and the spirits, both yearning for remembrance. As Thomas sits patiently by the river, the rhythmic sound of water continues to weave a tapestry of memories around him. He gazes into the reflective surface, pondering the stories etched by time, his connection to the Thames deepening with each passing moment. The gentle lapping of the tide seems to echo his thoughts, whispering of lives intertwined beneath the bridge. He recalls the fishermen before him, their hopes and dreams suspended in the water, just like his own. With each cast of his line, he feels an unseen thread binding him to the past, as if the river itself is a confidant, keeper of secrets and sorrows. The murmurs from above fade, leaving only the ghostly echoes of lost souls and forgotten tales. Thomas realizes that every ripple carries a story waiting to be unearthed, reminding him that the essence of the river is not just in its flow, but also in its ability to connect generations across time. The sky began to lighten, hues of pink and gold spreading like soft brushstrokes across the horizon. Thomas paused, casting his gaze up towards Tower Bridge, where the first rays of sunlight glinted off the steel structure, transforming it into a shimmering beacon above the quiet river. A gentle warmth enveloped him, the chill of the night retreating as day broke anew. In this moment of tranquility, the river seemed to pulse with life, a heartbeat beneath the bridge. Thomas breathed deeply, the scent of the water mingling with the distant aroma of breakfasting cafes. He marveled at how the dawn brought not just light, but also clarity. Memories of the river danced in his mind, tales interwoven with the fabric of time. The soft whispers of the current cradled his thoughts, urging him to reflect on the intertwining stories that bonded him to this sacred place. It was not merely fishing, it was a communion with the past, a renewal of purpose. As the dawn broke and the first light spilled over the horizon, Thomas felt a sudden, unprecedented tug on his line. The sensation was unlike any fish he had caught before, a strong pull that sent a thrill racing through him. Heart-pounding, he steadied himself, fingers gripping the worn rod tightly as he began to reel it in, the anticipation building with each winding motion of the reel. With a final heave, he lifted the weight from the water, expecting a shimmering catch. Instead, his eyes widened as he pulled free an ornate locket, caked in mud but undeniably beautiful in its craftsmanship. The early morning sun glinted off its silver surface, revealing intricate engravings that hinted at stories long lost. Thomas's breath hitched. Something deep inside him whispered that this was no ordinary catch. Eagerly, he wiped the grime from the locket, curiosity and trepidation flooding his thoughts as he prepared to reveal its secret. As Thomas knelt beside the riverbank, the locket gleamed in his trembling hands, its surface slick with mud yet undeniably ornate. He turned it over carefully, tracing his fingers over the delicate engravings that spoke of a time long past. The faded photograph inside captured the likeness of a girl, her round cheeks framed by soft curls, eyes bright with the kind of spirit that seemed eternal. A chill ran down Thomas's spine as he recognized the resemblance. The girl in the image bore an uncanny similarity to Eleanor, the one he'd heard about in whispers for years. Thoughts flooded his mind. Was this truly a sign from the long-lost spirit? He felt an inexplicable connection to the girl, as if the locket bridged the gap between past and present. As he held it closer to his heart, he sensed the river around him stirring, the water's gentle ripples echoing stories waiting to be uncovered. The air grew thick with emotion, and Thomas knew this was only the beginning of an extraordinary journey. The air suddenly chilled, causing Thomas to shiver despite the warming sun. A gust of wind swept through the trees, carrying with it a faint but haunting whisper that seemed to resonate with the very spirit of the Thames. He glanced around, searching for the source of the eerie sound, his heart racing. The river's surface mirrored the shifting sky, reflecting his mounting unease. As he stood there, rod in hand, the whispers grew louder, soft echoes of long-forgotten stories entwining with the gentle lapping of the water. Thomas's mind raced with thoughts of the legends he had heard over the years, tales woven into the fabric of the river itself. It was then he felt it, a palpable presence, as if the spirit of the river had awakened from its slumber, drawing him deeper into its mysteries. He felt a pull, an invitation to embrace the unknown that lay just beneath the surface, waiting to reveal itself. As Thomas stood frozen, the air around him chilled, causing a shiver to race down his spine. The once gentle whispers of the river grew louder, swirling around him like a fading melody. He squinted through the morning mist, his heart thrumming in his chest as a luminous figure began to materialize just beyond the water's edge. Eleanor appeared, her ethereal form shimmering against the backdrop of the gray Thames. She looked as if she were woven from the very fabric of the fog, her dress flowing like the river currents. With soft, sorrowful eyes, she met Thomas's gaze. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice a gentle breeze that wrapped around him. "You've found my heart." For a fleeting moment, the weight of her longing filled the air, and Thomas felt an overwhelming connection to this lost soul. Just as suddenly as she had appeared, Eleanor faded back into the mist, leaving him breathless. As the shimmering locket rested in his palm, Thomas felt its weight not only as a piece of metal, but as a bridge to the past. The encounter with Eleanor's spirit lingered in his mind, a bittersweet reminder that the river was a keeper of countless secrets and stories, just waiting to be unearthed. He could almost hear the whispers of the water, each ripple echoing the memories of those who had come before him, lost sailors, dreams unfulfilled, and lives intertwining with the currents of time. The Thames had always been more than just a source of livelihood. It was a tapestry woven with threads of history and emotion. He realized the locket was a gift, a tangible token that connected him to the ethereal. With each gentle splash of the water, Thomas understood he was part of an enduring legacy, a guardian of tales that deserved to be told and cherished. The shifting tides now felt like a heartbeat, an invitation to explore the depths of both the river and his own heart. Thomas cradled the locket in his palm, feeling its weight and the cool metal against his skin. The encounter with Eleanor's spirit stirred something deep within him, a recognition of the unseen threads linking the past and present. He understood now that the river was not just a body of water. It was a living archive filled with whispers and memories of those who had come before. As he slipped the locket into his pocket, he felt a surge of connection, as if the river itself was acknowledging his presence. With a renewed sense of purpose, Thomas resumed casting his line, each movement imbued with reverence. The morning sun, filtering through the mist, illuminated the water in a golden glow. He marveled at how each catch could mean more than just sustenance. It was a whisper from history, a dialogue with those who had once traversed the same waters. Embracing the unknown, he fished with hope, knowing he was now part of a larger tale.